bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dream that you dare to, why, oh why can't I? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. To those on the live stream, please, I hope you feel as if you were sitting in the chairs with us today to be part of our tribute to Geoff. Thank you for being here. We gather today to mourn the passing of Geoff Kohte. We gather to say our final farewells, and we gather to pay tribute to Geoff's life of 69 years. Today's a day to give thanks for having had Geoff in our lives. I'm going to start the descriptions with a rough diamond, who we can easily say didn't have the easiest road health-wise. You see, 69 years is not a long life. And Geoff fought hard through those 69 years. And the second part of the blessing, ladies and gentlemen, is that Geoff is released from the health issues that have plagued him. But, and it is a big but, nothing really stopped the big fella. And when Chandra came into Geoff's life, well, look out and hang on. And I'm talking about Chandra there. Geoff loved his 60s and 70s music. Well, only those of us who know the wonder of 60s and 70s music understand that concept. He'd sit in his shed, he'd have a smoke, he'd have a few beers, and the music would be on at full volume. Chandra smiled the other day when we were talking and said, you know, he only ever knew the first couple of lines. He'd go, no, 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 no. That was it. He loved his bikes. Boys, a couple of Harleys cruised in, I heard him. Loved his bikes. And he was so good with cars, he could fix almost anything, long as it was built before about 1980. He had so many cars, Chandra said. and he'd watch truck and car restoration shows on telly, as well as Home and Away. You know, a big lump of a bloke with that sort of and he's sitting watching Home and Away. Cool as. Geoff was a truckie. He was an owner-operator. He was a plant operator. And he certainly had an opinion on how things should be done. If him and Chandra happened to be driving somewhere or wandering and seeing earth-moving equipment or B-doubles, he'd say, I used to do that, but I can do it better. Nothing wrong with a bit of confidence, Geoffrey. Geoff was a dead-set, one-eyed Collingwood supporter, and I'm going to say, hey, guess what? Had a go Monday afternoon for you. Sorry, Geoff. Sorry, Frank. Sorry to all who are Collingwood supporters. It's only taken us 6 years to do it. I mentioned earlier that Geoff was a rough diamond. And most definitely you all know what you saw is what you got. But I have the privilege soon of sharing a side of Geoff that was not often on show. And please, let's pause just for a moment to remember Jack and Joyce and Terry. Terry, I think, was a mad Collingwood man too, wasn't he? I can remember that. So ladies and gentlemen, please, we've got some beautiful tributes today. Bring back your favourite memory of Geoff and hold it close. Well, I shared this reading. It's on the inside of your order of service if you want to follow it and make sure I read it properly. It's called If Only I Knew. If I knew that it'd be the last time that I'd see you fall asleep, I'd tuck you in more tightly. I'd pray the Lord your soul to keep. If I knew it'd be the last time that I'd see you walk out the door, I'd give you a hug and a kiss and call you once more. If I knew it'd be the last time I'd hear your voice lift up in praise, I'd videotape each action and word so I could play them day after day. And if I knew it'd be the last time I could spare an extra minute or two to stop and say, I love you, instead of assuming you already knew. If I knew it'd be the last time I could be there to share your day, well, I'm sure that you'd have so many more, so I can let this one slip away. For surely there's always tomorrow to make up for an oversight, and we always get a second chance to make everything wrong right. There'll always be other days to say how I love yous, and certainly there's another chance to say how, is there anything I can do's? But just in case I'm wrong, and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you and hope we never forget. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody, young and old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take the extra time for a smile, a hug and a kiss, and you were too busy to grant somebody what turned out to be their last wish. So hold your loved ones tight today and whisper in their ear and tell them how much you love them and that you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, well, you'll have no regrets about today. I think things like that, they're profound words. They're simple words, but they are absolutely profound words. Now, he says, drawing out the first of lots of bits of paper, Geoffrey Kohte, the early years. Geoff was born in Bairnsdale Hospital, so he hasn't come far, Geoff, have you? 28th of November 1956 to Joyce and Jack Kohte. Geoff was the youngest of his siblings, Lorraine and Judy and, as I said, Terry. They lived in a small house out at Coongomarine on a hill overlooking the Glenalladale Flats. He attended Lindenow Primary School, followed by TAFE. Now, some must have been a spelling or a typing mistake here. Initially a quiet boy, no, who hid behind his mum's skirts. He had a lovely head of hair, surprisingly, and beautiful blue eyes. He wasn't fond of school, so left at 14 years of age after an incident with a chair, possibly involving a surprise teacher. Geoff was drinking beer and smoking from a young age, as most lads did back then. He and Terry used to hide cigarettes from their parents in the garden, but was often disappointed when their mum was cutting the grass and gardening, as she usually found their stash. And their beers. There were many other antics, such as drinking all the milk and then refilling the container with water. It was the shopkeeper who got yelled at for selling her water instead of milk, as she wouldn't ever consider that Geoff would do that. He preferred to be riding around on his motorbike, quite often with a slab of beer tucked in on his bike, no licence. He was very pleased with himself for not getting caught. At the old-time dances at Glenelladale and Fernbank Halls, everyone could hear him coming on the tractor with Billy Spurdy, who wore his dressing gown and he didn't have a coat. Imagine these two. Between the two of them and their antics, there were many prangs and broken bones. The most gruesome was when Geoff almost lost his tongue when he nearly bit it off in a crash. But eventually it healed, and he has never stopped mouthing off since. He worked on several farms, such as Mac Carroll's Veggies, Flynn's, mainly as a farm hand. Although he had no licence, he was well known as a good slasher and driver, and provided good farm maintenance, as he really loved his job. He moved to his sister Lorraine's place at Tambo Crossing, and that's where he met good mates Arthur and John, and many others, and worked at the timber mill. They got up to many things that we cannot mention in good company. Sister Judy and Geoff both liked cars and bikes, and were constantly buying, fixing up and selling cars. Jim Watt guided Geoffrey, and finally, after several years driving trucks interstate, he got his licence. He then brought his own truck and ended up driving for Loy Yang for many years, which he loved. Despite all the fun and antics, as with everybody, there were hard times. However, Geoff was, and I'm going to say to this, is still a genuinely good person who would give you the shirt up his back if you needed it. Yeah. For a period of time, he went back to live with his parents. This is where he was when he met Chandra through a friend. And this is from Geoff, so instead of my foghorn, hear Geoff's foghorn, hey? Hi everyone. Thank you for coming today to support Chandra. We met through a family friend, and I wrote to her for 2 years. Then I went over to Fiji to meet her. Geoff says, my first impression was she was not into me at all. As I think you all know, if Chandra doesn't like something, she'll tell you how it is. I meant to be there for 3 weeks, but ended up being there for 3 months. Her family were very kind and welcomed me with open arms, especially her mum, who cooked me breakfast and did everything to make sure I was looked after. Even gave me a bed while she slept on a mattress on the floor. I put on quite a few pounds by the time I left. Spoilt rotten. After I got back to Australia, it took another month until Chandra's visa arrived and she came over. And even though it was summer here, she still felt the cold. She had a very bad start here, as after 10 days her mum passed away. And Chandra had to fly back to Fiji, a hard and a heartbreaking time for her. Chandra came back, and second time around, Geoff says our lives started. Chandra worked very hard to organise a home for us and furnished it. Then came all the holidays. I was rarely home on the weekends, either on the road or in a plane. Despite the hardships with my poor health, we enjoyed life to the fullest. travelling together all over the world. After kidney failure and dialysis established, I thought travelling was over for me. But Chandra organised all of my dialysis stuff to go on holidays with us. The package of equipment would be waiting for me at our accommodation. So travelling had restarted. 8 years later, after a kidney transplant, it was much easier to continue life and travels. About 7 years later, I had my left leg amputated below the knee. It was a really bad 6-month recovery until I got my prosthetic. Then I was pushed back on the plane again. First trip was a trial run to New Zealand to see how I managed with my leg. And fortunately, it all went well. 2 weeks later, Chandra said, "Oh, we should go to Hong Kong and Vietnam." And I was reluctant, asking how I was going to manage. But she just said, "You'll be right." You can imagine Chandra saying that, can't you? "You'll be right. You've got another leg." And presented me with the tickets already booked. Thank you to Veronica Davis for helping Chandra organise all the trips. "I'm very grateful," says Geoff. "I'd never thought it would be possible for me to go so many places, but Chandra made it happen. She travelled the highways for holidays and also hospitals for my care. So she knows the roads well. I was in hospital so much I was their VIP patient, and I reckon I funded those hospitals. Fully funded. Chandra ran the house, looked after me and worked, and as soon as I was better, she was dragging me all over the countryside. My last holiday was in Canberra last month, and I enjoyed the drive, the food, the beer, and a flutter on the pokies. I didn't win, says Geoff, but tin-ass Chandra did. Holiday paid for. There are a few people I'd like to thank. Family and friends in Fiji, New Zealand, USA and Melbourne for opening their homes and welcoming me as part of the family. Also a very special lady in Frankston, Auntie Maya, for all the times that Chandra needed to stay during the time I had my transplant. Also all the local friends who helped us through. Now to the doctors and nurses, Bairnsdale Hospital. I'm sure all the staff will remember me and the hard time I gave you all. Bad language and behaviour, he says, for which I am very sorry. And I'm sure you will have many stories and a laugh. The Bairnsdale Medical Centre, Priceline Pharmacy, Clayton Hospital Renal Care, Dandenong Hospital Cancer Clinic, Moorabbin Cancer Clinic, Terrelgan Prosthetics, Bairnsdale Mobility and Equipment Hire made my life and mobility much easier. Jess, the occupational therapist at GLCH, Bupa Aged Care, all the fellow workers and management for being flexible to allow Chandra to be with me when I needed her. Libby Tuckett, Mr. Tuckett, Matt Eve, I hope I pronounced that right, and George Turner, George's passed. Crystal and her family on the farm and for giving me Zimba the cat. Maya and Nicole for the support. Special thanks to Tommy Kohte for our younger days. My heartfelt thanks to Karen Roberts for being there for Chandra. And always a phone call away, and she'd be at my door. I appreciate, Karen, where are you? Over in the corner quietly. I appreciate everything you did and will do for Chandra when I'm not around. P.S. Karen, thank you for looking after my girls. Just remember, Zimba is my cat, not yours. And Chandra, thank you for the last 34 years you gave me. You were amazing. You should hold your head high. You have given me a life I could never have dreamed of. unconditional love in my good days, but especially on my bad days. You have done an excellent job, and as I said to everybody, if it wasn't for you, I'd have been dead a long time ago. So, there's a different side of Geoff, isn't there? Very much a different side. But now, Chandra, you're going to come up and share with us. Have you got it written down? Do you want me to do it? Come on.
I need to put my glasses, I can't see. I got it. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today as we grieve the life of my beloved husband, Geoff. He has passed, has left a deep sympathy in my heart. His kindness, his laughter will always remain with me. I want to thank you giving me a life in Australia. With you, when I first met Geoff, he didn't have much to say, but the last 34 years, he had a lot to say. He helped me get my license. He was a very good teacher, but when I got my license, he never shut up. So we're coming back from Painesville one day, and I said to him, I think I've got a puncture. So he hopped out, and I locked the door, and I said, you can walk home. He wasn't happy. We just pulled over near David Luke's on the other side, and his mum lived in McLeod Street. So she goes, where is my son? I said, he's walking. She goes, why? I said, he kept telling me how to drive all the time. So she's got a jug of water waiting for him at the gate because he was so hot. He never liked cats, but I wanted to have one. So just to piss him off, I brought one home. And then I started work the next day, didn't I? He fell in love with the first one, and he loved them all. We had many holidays together. Loved going backwards and forwards to Fiji, meeting the family there, visiting friends. He loved drinking his kava. And the worst thing the man could touch in kava was Fiji, because he drinks so much he'll come to bed and say the bed is moving. But he didn't like the heat very much, but he never complained about that. He used to wear his blue t-shirt and his shorts and whatever, he'd be fine. After he lost his leg, he used to still do work around the house for me. Hang the washing, put the dishes away, feed the cats, put the bin out, bring the wood in, but he'd only do it in half an hour before I got home. So I come home and I say to him, why you look so exhausted? Oh, he said, I've been working hard. I said, what were you doing? Oh, the housework. And I go, but you had about 6 hours. Oh, I did it. When he turned 50, I took him on a chopper ride. That wasn't good, because he didn't like the heights. So we went for a drive, then he goes, oh, I like this chopper. I said, let's have a look at it. So he hops in, and the man goes, we're going. He goes, no, we're not. I'm not going to say what he said. It wasn't very nice words out of his mouth. But we did lots, so it was really, really good. He enjoyed that. Last year, things started to change a lot. He got sicker, in and out of hospital, but we still managed to do things and get holidays done. Even in his difficult times, he never gave up. Despite hardship and downship with his health, he kept going, and we pulled through together. I loved travelling with him, and we saw many, many places and had many, many memories of him. But he always liked to stay at the caravan park. And I didn't like caravan parks. I think everybody knows I like a VIP room. So I would say to him, all right, let's make a deal. I have 5 VIP, you can have 2 caravan parks. When we went to, it was a wedding anniversary, and I heard somewhere they were doing the tank rides. I thought it would be nice. And I forgot he didn't have a leg at that time. So I organised everything to take him up there, so we had to drive a long way to get in there. He goes, why are you taking me into the bush? I said, oh, there's something I want you to have a look at. So we got there. He goes, oh, there's nice tanks here. I said, let's have a look. So he got into one, he couldn't get out. And the man said, oh, we'll take this one for a ride. So we did that. And then he goes, you want to stand up and have a look, Chandra? So I did, and the man drove in the dirt. And I ended up with all the dirt. And then we had to go to the RACV resort the way I was. I'm going to miss your voice, your smile, your phone calls, and your smart-ass comments. Life will never be the same. Home will be very quiet without you. I want to thank you for who has supported me during this painful time. His memories, life is on all of us. For the flowers, the texts, the phone calls, the meals, and especially Karen. As soon as you walk into the house, he goes, there goes my cat. I promise to look after the girls for you. And another thanks to Ellie and Peter for feeding me every time when he was in hospital. I'd rock up for a cuppa and she'll say, go on, stay for dinner. Oh, you only eat chicken, don't you? I said, I do eat lamb and fish, but I always end up having chicken, so you might want to change your menu, Ellie. Thank you for all the staff at Bupa for giving me time whenever I needed to run into hospital. And they were very, very good. And I appreciate every time that you guys gave me. And my family and friends that opened his arms for Geoff. He didn't have to say much, but he would always tell me later what he thought about them, and I'm not going to repeat it today. He loved food. We used to have dinner between 6 and 6:30, and 5 o'clock he'd start marching. I go to the cupboard and I said, what are you doing? I'm hungry. I said, just wait, no, not allowed to eat in this house. And then come back 10 minutes later, he'll come back again to the fridge. I said, what are you doing? Oh, I'm hungry. You just have to wait. He loved his ice cream and his jelly. He loved sleeping, but he used to get up so early, annoys me all the time. I put my alarm on to get up at 6:45 for work. He come in at 6:45 right on time. Chandra, it's time to go to work. Yeah, I'm awake. No, up you get. So like he was going to work. I promise to look after the girls for you. This is not a goodbye, but I will see you again. You can rest in peace now. When you left, my heart was torn in two. I hold one of our memories and the other aches for you. Remembering you is simple, but missing you will never end. I will love you always and keep you close to my heart. Rest in peace.
Heartfelt, with the way that only Chandra could relate some stories. It's beautiful. We're going to pause for a time, ladies and gentlemen, and watch a photographic presentation of this fella's life with A Soft and Gentle Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler, and then a little bit of Dave Dudley and 6 Days on the Road. Thank you, Cal.
of Pittsburgh are rolling down that eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's a-running like I never before. There's a speed zone ahead, well, all right. I don't see a cop in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I got me 10 forward gears on a Georgia overdrive. I'm taking little white pills and my eyes are open wide. I just passed a Jimmy in a whine. I've been a passing everything in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, it seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have a lot of women, but I'm not like some of the guys. I could find one to hold me tight, but I could never make believe it's all right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. ICC is a-checking on down the line. Well, I'm a little overweight and my logbook's way behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. I can dodge all the scales all right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, my rig's a little old, but that don't mean she's slow. There's a flame from her stack and that smoke's a-blowing black as coal. My hometown's a-coming in sight. If you think I'm happy, you're right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
Looks in a blue singlet, Chandra. Not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, when our time is at an end out at the cemetery, we're going to lay Geoff to rest out there. Please, if you're able to, make your way back to Bensdale Bowles, Grant Street. And I know Chandra would love to see you back there to share more memories and tell more stories. Some can't be as told as we said, but I'm sure there'll be some. So please, if you're able to, the family would love to see you back there. Now, more tributes, he says. And it just shows me how highly Geoff and Chandra are thought of. Especially all the folks from the various professional services. You've taken time out of your day, and some of you maybe even on days off. Thank you. On behalf of Chandra, thank you. On behalf of Geoff. And this is from Bula, from Fiji. Dearest Chandra, our sincere condolences to you, my dear, with much love. I had the privilege to come for a holiday and stayed with Geoff and Chandra. Geoff is what we fondly call him by. Geoff and I would spend a lot of cup of tea time when he would tell me stories of his young days as a lad picking apples and whatever else was in season. He even drove me to the farms and I got the opportunity to see its amazing agriculture. Geoff would share on how fortunate he was to have Chandra as his wife and partner. That because of her, had the opportunity to travel out of Australia, to name a few places, America, New Zealand and Fiji. Geoff was a man of few words. He was one that never wanted to bother anyone. He loved his steak for tea, as long as Chandra said it was time. And also loved his girls Zimba and Snowy. A very caring person he was and easy to get along with. He also loved his carver, and look forward to coming to Fiji, sharing kava with family and friends. So long, Geoff. Go and rest. And to Chandra, thank you for an excellent job of looking after Geoff. As Geoff says, life's too short to not enjoy it. And he wants you to continue to live life. Travel and keep doing the things you both enjoyed doing. Love from the Virens, Robert, Taru and Becky from Fiji. And Nitesh Menon. I'm honoured to speak on the life of my beloved brother-in-law, Geoff Kohte. I speak not only as his brother-in-law, but also as somebody who shared countless memories with him, both here in Fiji and during my visit to Australia. To me and my brothers, he was more than just a relative. He was truly like a brother. To my parents, he was more than a son-in-law, a true son to them. During the time we lost our mum, Geoff was there to support us and go through this difficult time together. And even though he was sick, it did not stop him from visiting us and being with us. Geoff, no words can show what you've done for us. Whenever he visited Fiji, we spent most of our time together. He always made us feel valued, and his presence brought joy and laughter into our home. He was somebody he could talk to, we could talk to, share with and rely on. I will never forget the times we spent together in Fiji, long conversations, family gatherings and simple, everyday moments that became precious memories. His visits were always special because he made sure to spend time with us, strengthening the bond we shared. When I visited him in Bairnsdale, Australia, we created even more happy memories. We went shopping, enjoyed the beach, went fishing, partied and explored new places together. A most memorable time was when he used to ask me to make kava in ice water, something he loved to drink, and it brought us very close. Those days were filled with laughter and joy and a sense of togetherness that I'll treasure forever. He made sure that I felt at home, even though when I was far from Fiji. He was a man who valued relationships deeply. With us, he was not just a brother-in-law, but a true companion. His kindness, his generosity and his ability to make every moment enjoyable will never be forgotten. He taught us that family is not only about blood, but about love and the time we share together. We are grateful for the time that we had with him. And though his journey ended too soon, the bond we shared will never fade. He will always remain in our hearts as a brother and a friend and a guiding light. May his soul rest in peace. Love you and miss you, Geoff. And that's from Nitesh. Just make sure we haven't got stuff on the back. And Asish, my name is Asish, and I'd like to say a few words about my brother-in-law. I had the privilege of knowing Geoffrey from 2014 until today. During those years, I came to know him as a kind, caring and respectful person who always treated everyone with warmth. One thing I will always remember is that he used to call me Big Boy. It was his way of showing affection and friendship. And every time I heard it, it brought a smile to my face. On behalf of myself, my wife and our 2 children, we would like to express our love and gratitude for having had him in our lives. Geoffrey was not only a brother-in-law, but also a valued member of our family. We will always cherish the memories and laughter and moments we shared together. And though he's no longer with us, his kindness and the impact he has made in our lives will remain in our hearts forever. Rest in peace, my brother. You will be deeply missed and lovingly remembered. Our sincere condolences to the entire family. May God give us strength, comfort and peace during this difficult time. With love, Asish, Nitu, Pran and Pari. How close is that for getting the names right? Now, who else have we got? Who else have we got here? Let's have a look. This is the bit that I put in the wrong spot earlier, and I'm not going to let it go without saying it, because this is Geoff speaking to his beloved. Chandra, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and I loved you more than you will ever know. If I could give you one thing in life, I would give you the ability to see yourself through my eyes. Only then would you realise how special you are to me. You are and will always be my world. Take care of yourself and live life the way we used to. Continue to do what you do best, back to work and enjoy life. Keep travelling, but make sure my girls are looked after. Love you now and forever in my heart, Buddha. I'm sorry, Chandra, I forgot that. Okay, Geoff and Chandra, give us a look. Geoff, okay. I've only known Chandra and Geoff about 7 years. First impression, whirlwind activity generated by Chandra. Arguments from Geoff, just let me sleep. And then followed by my conversation with both. Geoff has needed support and direction in life, and Chandra, you gave him that. He admits he needed Chandra's help and direction. Geoff said to me, ignore the arguments between me and Chandra, she is right. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be alive and able to see the world. So, you know, your heart knows. Chandra has never mentioned the amount of work she put into the relationship. She just got on with it. This is the most selfless, basic love and commitment I've ever witnessed. Geoff was big enough to admit his faults, and Chandra found ways to overcome cultural and language barriers to fix anything. Geoff maintained contacts with old mates to shoot the breeze and yak about their larrikin days. Chandra is a social butterfly who has established a strong friendship base. Very much yes, Chandra. We will all be there to support her in her grieving. And I'm sure Geoff left life knowing Chandra would be okay. And he was thankful for the life he had with her. R.I.P. Geoff. Karen. And, by the way, Simba the cat still has me to love and play attack. You couldn't help yourself, could you? Hello, Chandra. I'm thinking of you and have some words for the service for you to pass on to Karen. Chandra kindly invited me to share a few words in memory of Geoff. It was a privilege to have known him. Geoff was a courageous and compassionate person who deeply loved Chandra, and he continued to embrace life with strength and determination despite significant health challenges. Chandra was his steadfast advocate and an extraordinary source of support. I'll always remember Geoff, as well as the remarkable dedication and care shown by his devoted wife Chandra, and that's Kate Smith. Thank you, Kate. Dear Chandra, I was deeply saddened to hear of Geoff's passing. Please accept my heartfelt condolences during this difficult time. Geoff was truly one of a kind, a caring, funny and charming person whose presence brought joy to those around him. I'll always treasure the memories we shared, especially one that still makes me smile today. We were out for lunch one day and it was far too early for Geoff to be having a beer. Someone at another table had ordered one, and as a waitress carried it past us, Geoff followed that beer with his eyes from one end of the room to the other. The look on his face was priceless, and it's a moment I'll never forget. It perfectly captured his wonderful sense of humour and ability to make even the simplest moments memorable. Geoff had a special way of making people feel comfortable and valued. His kindness, his laughter and warm personality touched many lives, and he will be greatly missed by all who had the privilege of knowing him. May your cherished memories of Geoff bring you comfort and strength in the days ahead. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family during this time of sorrow. With deepest sympathy, Kaki, Kaka and Isha. And Sam Davies. As a child, I was quite stubborn and not afraid to let everyone know that when things weren't going my way. Whenever I stayed at Chandra and Geoff's house, there was plenty of occasions when I would become upset and insist that I wanted to go home, especially when Chandra refused to give in to my every request. Chandra would often tell me to sit outside and wait for my parents to come and collect me, determined to teach me that I couldn't always have things my own way. But while I sat outside, usually eating my lunch and feeling sorry for myself, Geoff would quietly come and sit beside me. He'd chat with me, keep me company and make me feel a little bit better, even when Chandra was trying her best to teach me a lesson with the silent treatment. Looking back, that moment says so much about Geoff. He had a gentle and caring nature and always wanted us kids to feel happy, welcome and loved whenever we came to visit. Even in the middle of a childhood tantrum, he made sure I never felt alone. And Veronica and Paul Davies, Geoff and Chandra have become family over many years, and that link was strengthened when we had our kids, Sam and Ronan. We were blessed to have them both in our lives, and they became integral as they moved from babysitters to honorary aunt and uncle. And as we all know, Chandra was the bossy one, and Geoff the quiet but firm line beside her. In Ronan's formative years, he would spend time with them both, and Geoff would patiently teach them things about cars and trucks. Ronan was at the age that boys loved trucks, and whenever they were out, Geoff would point them out to Ronan. The unfortunate part was Ronan, like many toddlers, had not quite grasped the difference between TR and F. Trucks. We'll leave that one right there, I think. This became quite apparent one afternoon when Bob and Maisie had the kids and were driving along when Ronan spotted a semi-trailer and excitedly exclaimed in the back seat. Well, he didn't say truck. You could imagine the shock and indignation in the front seat of the car until the truck pulled past them. Needless to say, Geoff will always be in our hearts, and whenever our family sees a truck. Have I paused long enough for that one? You get the gist. And then it hit me like a truck, not the other one. I realised exactly, this is from Ronan, I realised exactly where Geoff's good energy had been transformed to, released into the world to bring us happiness and peace whenever we may need it in our lives, just like he did when he was with us physically. So thank you for Geoff for showing me where we go when we die. Well, I can't say for you or me or anybody else where we will go, but for me, I know Geoff went into the sunset over the Mediterranean. So I'm sad I'll never see Geoff again, thoughtfully. Yes, but only partially, because whenever I see a beautiful sunset over an endless shimmering ocean in my future, I know I'll see you again, Geoff. It's just beautiful, just beautiful. So there you are, there's some wondrous tributes. Now, as we're travelling through our service, our second reading, and it's just called Let Me Go. And this is for Chandra and Geoff, as today's been about that, hasn't it? It's been as much about Chandra as it has about Geoff, because that's the way Geoff would want it. Simple as that. We've known lots of pleasure and at times endured pain. We've lived in the sunshine and we've walked in the rain. And now we're separated and for a time apart, but I'm not alone because you're forever in my heart. Death always seems so sudden, and it is always sure. But what's often forgotten, it's not without a cure. There may be times you miss me, I sort of hope you do, but smile when you think of me, for I'll be waiting for you. Now there are many things for you to do and lots of ways to grow, so get busy, be happy, live your life, miss me, but let me go. It's very similar to what Geoff had written before Chandra. Now I just want to make sure I've got, because I got handed these earlier, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to miss anybody because they're too valued. No, we've got everybody. We've got everybody. We're just about to take Geoff out to the cemetery. It's time to say goodbye to him. We've heard lots of laughs, and I think that's what today should be about. The sadness is in his early passing at 69 years. But what a wonder of a man that nothing held him back. Nothing held him back. And when Chandra came into Geoff's life, it was like, I don't know, we've got to use a Mediterranean or a tropical thing. a lotus blossom, opening up, blooming. Never mind dialysis, never mind a kidney, never mind losing a part of his leg, never mind cancer. Get on with it. And that's what he said. Get on with it. Of course, it helps when you've got a tiger like Chandra by the tail. But that's what he said to her. You heard him say it before. If it wasn't for you, Chandra, I would have been dead a long time ago. That's what we take from today. Sadness in Geoff's passing, as all the tributes have alluded to, and in your own hearts, that's how it is. But this bloke remains with us. Remains with us. And I thank you all for being here this afternoon to pay tribute and to honour Geoff and Chandra. We're going to move out to the cemetery now, and as I say, Bairnsdale Bowls Club, once we lay Geoffrey to rest on a lovely sunny winter's afternoon. Thank you all for being here, and our last song, ladies and gentlemen, as we take him from this place, One Day at a Time, John McSweeney. Thank you all for being here. One thing? Come on.
I had a lot of swearing words when I first came here, and I was used to that because I used to work at a hotel. So we asked the questions what it meant. So he said, I told him about every word in Indian what it meant, but I never told him about the mother language. So when I used to get angry, I used to say it to him, but it meant a terrible word. He said, what does it mean? I said, you love your mum too much. So we were sitting in Fiji one day having lunch, and the boys were having a drink. They started fighting. And he said, what happened there? I said, oh, the boys were swearing. He said, why is he so bad? I said, he said his mum's word. What is it? I said, oh, I can't say. We're not allowed to say it. Ladies can't say those words. But unfortunately, I never told him what it meant. I always said, oh, you love your mum too much. Because sometimes I used to say it to him, he didn't understand that one.
Thanks, Cal. One day at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
One day at a time, sweet Lord. That's all I'm asking from you. Lord, help me today. Show me the way. One day at a time. I'm only I'm just a man. Help me believe in what I could be, Lord, that I am. Show me the strength I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time. That's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do.
Please follow us out of the chapel.
And tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today. Show me the way. One day I'll
Turn you around, eh?
Walk forward, over the top of the head. No, no, right into the back of the head. Watch your head back.